I reject the notion that I entered this world condemned, cursed before consciousness, guilty before breath, stained before choice. No, I was born breathing. I was born aware. I was born participating in existence before I could even pronounce a single doctrine. And if humanity truly wants to examine evil honestly, then let us examine environment, conditioning, trauma, imitation, propaganda, greed, inherited violence, and the systems that normalize dysfunction while pretending to condemn it. Because if murder, hatred, greed, racism, exploitation, and destruction are truly rejected by society, then why are they endlessly sold back to humanity through entertainment, media, algorithms, politics, and profit-driven outrage? Why does violence trend? Why does division monetize? Why does fear scale? And at what point do we admit that profit has often been positioned above psychological well-being, above truth, above balance, above humanity itself? Now listen carefully, because this distinction matters deeply. I also reject the idea that the source of all life requires belief in the way human institutions describe it. Think about the structure of that word itself, belief. The ancient linguistic roots point toward trust, acceptance, mental confidence in something not fully known through direct experience. Belief is a human psychological condition born from uncertainty. Humans do not believe in gravity once they fall from a building. Humans do not believe in breathing once the lungs tighten for air. Humans do not believe in hunger once the stomach begins to ache. Function requires no agreement. Reality performs itself independent of human opinion. The sun rises over believers and skeptics alike. Oceans move without permission from priests. Seasons rotate without approval from kings. The heartbeat functions in every race, every nation, every ideology. Nature itself never demanded ideological membership. Fire burns the preacher and the atheist equally. Gravity humbles the rich and the poor equally. Existence behaves through function, rhythm, law, cycles, cause and effect. And this is why the concept becomes dangerous when attached to the source of all life. Because once humanity admits it did not create existence, did not invent breath, did not manufacture consciousness, did not design nature, then mankind is forced to confront something beyond its authorship. But instead of humbly observing reality, humanity often constructs narrative systems around mystery. Then those narratives become institutions. Institutions become authority. Authority becomes inherited doctrine. Doctrine becomes emotional identity. And suddenly questioning a human interpretation is treated as though you questioned existence itself. That is the illusion. The arrogance enters when humanity confuses its description of reality with reality itself. A map is not the territory. A word is not the ocean. A translation is not the wind. A religion is not the cosmos. The source of life, whatever name one gives it or refuses to give it, clearly existed before English, before Latin, before Greek, before kingdoms, before temples, before flags, before denominations. Which means no single institution can honestly claim ownership over existence itself. At best, humanity interprets fragments of a mystery larger than itself. But power structures often move beyond interpretation into enforcement. Believe this or suffer. Believe this or you are evil. Believe this or you do not belong. That is no longer exploration. That becomes social control through inherited agreement. Even the structure of belief reveals limitation. To believe often means you do not fully know through direct experience. If you stand in rain, you do not believe water exists. You encounter it directly. If you breathe air, you do not believe oxygen functions. You participate in it continuously. So when humans claim certainty through belief systems inherited by geography, culture, family, or empire, perhaps what they are truly expressing is attachment to interpretation rather than direct understanding. One child is born into one doctrine. Another child across the planet is born into another. Both inherit certainty before investigation. That alone should humble humanity. The deeper critique is not that humans searched for meaning. That is natural. The deeper critique is the arrogance of weaponizing interpretation as ownership of absolute truth while standing on a planet we did not create, beneath stars we cannot sustain, breathing air we did not invent, carried through existence by systems operating long before human language emerged. So perhaps wisdom begins not with forced belief, but with observation, humility, awareness, alignment, and the courage to admit that reality itself is greater than every institution attempting to monopolize it. Ashe.